The Surfing Violinist presents the Holly Bolly OneTake. Today, Vicky Donor. Vicky Donor is a daring, character-driven rom-com with a unique mentor-student relationship. It's so authentically deli, it's funny, and surprisingly touching. Vicky Donor is a dramatic rom-com with elements of social commentary, with an arrested development protagonist, kind of a delayed coming-of-age story. And on that basis, we give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. When comparing Vicky Donor to films of a similar genre, I would seriously, totally, and wholeheartedly put it above the charmingly narcissistic Hugh Grant starrer About a Boy, but I'd put it below India's own melodramatic weepy, Tare Zameen Par. That movie, musical or not, is a solid film, and in the third act, Vicky Donor gets a bit masala itself, so I feel the comparison is fair, and I feel like Tare Zameen Par succeeds just the slightest bit more at reaching its genre goals. I'd put Vicky Donor in the same area as Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi, but I think Vicky Donor is just a tad better. Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi is more of a traditional Bollywood musical, but again, its execution within the genre is on point. I feel like the last act of Vicky Donor just stretches its genre expectations and dips a bit too much into masala, but more on that in a moment. Like most of the films I've liked on this list, Vicky Donor gives us good characters, and my favorite of these is easily Dr. Chadha. The character is written very well, and Anu Kapoor plays it to perfection. This guy is one of my favorite parts of the marathon, up there with Vijay Raj and Rajesh Hirji.
आपको दो नहीं चाहिए और तो अनु चाहिए नहीं ऐश्वर्या पहले करियर डिसाइड करो बाद में बच्चा पैदा करो.
Another strength of the film is that it is cross-cultural, which if you know this channel, that's a huge priority. We get the interaction of two communities, Punjabis and Bengalis, that start in stereotype territory for comedic purposes, but the story takes these characters through quite a bit of development and refreshing cross-cultural interactions. And finally, the film just does a really good job of feeling like Delhi. This is not green screen soundstage material here, and we get to see a different side of Delhi, South Delhi, which is often overlooked for the colleges of North Delhi or the narrow lanes of Old Delhi. So it's fun to see the Delhi we know on screen, and they do a good job of capturing it. When it comes to areas of improvement, and I know I'm like a broken record here, but the ending of the film feels a bit manipulative. Honestly, I'm conflicted at this point. I feel like it works, but I feel like some savvy viewers' suspension of disbelief will be strained too much by what happens. It did work for me and Melissa, so maybe I'm just being too picky. Something just feels missing, and I can't put my finger on it. The main problem with the film, in our opinion, is with Yami Gautam's character. Even this criticism could be overly picky, but both Melissa and I felt that her character was being unfair in the last third of the film. We just needed one more scene or a bit more depicting her deep-seated fear of betrayal to justify her reaction, because she almost becomes a villain in the last act, and it becomes very difficult to sympathize with her. Nonetheless, I think the film is funny, endearing, and on the whole works.
महाभारत के टाइम से जनानियों के जब बच्चे नहीं होते थे तो ऋषि मुनियों को बुलवा लेते थे. बाबा औलाद नहीं है, बाबे ने की किता तथास्तु किता हो गया. बंदे का स्पर्म पहचान जाता हूँ. ऐसे डीएनए आर्यन रेस के देखे गए हैं. तू प्योर आर्यन रेस है, आर्य पुत्र है बे.
On the emoticon-ometer, I give this film an XD, and when Melissa and I averaged our rankings together, it comes in 9th out of 30th in our Delhi Film Marathon. What are your thoughts about Vicky Donor? Let us know in the comments, and let us know your least favorite and favorite films that were shot in Delhi or were about Delhi. There are 8 more films in our Bollywood and Delhi Film Marathon. Tune in tomorrow to see what film ends up 8th on our list. In the month of November, we will be releasing a review a day counting down the 30 films my wife and I watched that were shot in Delhi, culminating with the release of our American Indian episode celebrating Bollywood's cinematic love for Delhi, releasing publicly November 30th. Also check out my wife and I dancing and romancing to Anaz Chan Savaris with Violin by me. Please let us know what movies you'd like to see reviewed with our Holly Bolly Review OneTake. This is the Surfing Violinist. Until next time, remember that not all films have the same goals, so give Bollywood films the benefit of the doubt before comparing them with Hollywood films. There are plenty of fantastic Indian films out there. Let's discover them and spread the word about them together.